I genuinely can't believe I'm about to say this. Hi guys, welcome back to CMD and the BMW 1M. This car has been loaned to me for 2 weeks by the all-round legend Paul Stevens. Now, if you think you've heard that name before, you have. Paul also recently lent me his GI Yaris, and if you haven't seen that video, there's 3. I suggest you go check those out. When I dropped the GI Yaris back, Paul very kindly threw me the key to this. For those of you who are new to CMD, we have been set up as a YouTube channel with a difference. All the revenue we generate from videos like this one that you're watching right now, along with sponsorship from partners like hothatches.co.uk, all lands into a designated bank account. 100% of those funds, every single penny, is being donated to good causes locally and nationally. So if you like what you see, please remember to hit that like button, give me a subscribe, maybe tell your friends, but that's enough of that. We need to go for a drive. Right, let's go for a spin. Spin being the opposite word. I think it's worth mentioning that initially I had planned on shooting a 1M versus M2 video, almost like a bit of a shootout. However, the more I've driven this car and the more I've got to learn and know about it and research them and think about the relevance of that, the more I think it's not really that relevant. I genuinely don't think there's going to be many people, if any, out there who are considering buying a 1M or an M2 OG competition CS. I think they're very different cars, very different experiences for people trying to achieve very different things. They've got very different characters. You could daily both, to be fair, but the M2 is mass produced, and for me this 1M is, I knew it was special before I got in it, because anyone who likes an M car would tell you that, wouldn't they? But I've got to tell you, if you get a chance to experience one, the car will do the talking. You don't need more than half an hour with one of these things to understand why everyone got so excited about them in the first place. As soon as you get in, it's a very familiar cabin, but you get your analog M dials, a manual gear shifter and a plaque, which very clearly tells you you are in one of 450. Holy sh... So highly collectible, quite niche, and interestingly, the only M car ever made with the model designation before the M badge. For those of you who aren't aware, BMW built an M1 back in the 70s. It was their original only, arguably, depending on how you view what the i8 is, attempt at a supercar. So badge taken. And I'm going to admit a level of bias from the off, because Paul's got a phenomenal car collection, there's no two ways about it. Dream garage sort of stuff. All very carefully picked. You can really tell that he's thought a lot of the cars through, this one included. And this one's a minter. 36,000 miles. A few modifications, Olin suspension, aftermarket exhaust, a little bit of trick carbon under the hood. Listen to that powertrain. And the steering, oh, the power. engineer's project. They didn't have the resources or the time allowed to develop the car, and so it became a passion project over weekends. They essentially took the N54 lump out of the 135i, updated, improved the flywheel, attached all of that to a widened body, and that engine's punching out 335 bhp. And when I say punching out, it's a spike of a delivery. It does a fantastic impression of a naturally aspirated engine for something that is turbocharged, until you stick your foot down on the fun pedal. Then what you get is a massive spike of power. Oh. The diff and the rear suspension and the brakes all lifted out of an E92 M3. And whilst none of that are as new or as clever or as good or as light or as developed as the newer counterparts, obviously no surprise there, I can tell you what I'd be driving if it was a choice between this or anything newer. It's just, oh my word, special. I can't go any further, I just can't, without talking about the steering feel. This is where this car really benefits from its age. It's got a hydraulic rack, and the feel, I think that's arguably helped a little by some fantastic tyres. Paul saw fit to fit it, rightly so, with Michelin PS4Ss. So the car's gripping well in damp British conditions. But the feel's so intuitive, you know exactly what the car's doing. Case in point, wet, damp British road, spiky M car, front end is going exactly where I'm pointing it, and I can feel everything. So engaging, it demands your attention. Add all of these parts together, my word, yeah, and you've got a very special little car. Traction control, I've got to talk about it, it's light enough now. Paul warned me about it when I picked the car up, and I can see why. It's a little unsure of itself, spasmodic, cuts in every now and then. I've driven the same road up and down a few times at the same pace, and the traction control has done different things every time. Now, that could be an old traction control system that isn't necessarily configured very well to the car, or it could be that the car is constantly losing traction. So is it oversensitive and old, or is the car literally that spiky? I think it's probably a combination of the two. I think it's probably not configured as well as it could. That might be a bit of age as well. You've got to bear in mind, sort of technology-wise, over 10 years ago. And the car is spiky. And I've learned that more recently. We had some good weather a few days ago, and with Paul's permission, he told me to sort of get the tyres warm, turn it off, and really sort of see what the car can do. It's not as spiky as the traction control would make you think it is, with everything off. But my word, it's another level again, and it's already an animal with it on. But like most cars, it is holding it back. Not that you'd notice. It's been fun driving this car around. It's relatively stealth in black, and what it does very well is go unnoticed to those who don't know, but those who do know really kick up a fuss when they see it. I've been waved through at junctions, so I'm told to put my foot on the fun pedal. I've been approached by enthusiasts who've never seen one in the flesh, and it really has that sort of special feel for the people who know what it is. and I am smitten. It is quite comfortably the best thing I've ever driven. Get out. Whoa. It's utterly phenomenal. So let's summarise. Limited edition, stealth, special to those who know. Phenomenal driving experience, feel, engagement, fast, so fast. The power delivery is so long and so linear, and it'll bite your face off, throw you off the road if you take liberties with it. What's not to love? Up to the 7. Oh, it does 40 miles an hour in first. In first. I want one. And on that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the video as much as I've enjoyed making it. This has been a real treat for me, as mentioned. Thank you again to the owner, Paul Stevens. Without guys like Paul supporting me and the channel, you know, this sort of content doesn't get made, and we don't keep stepping towards making donations to those good causes. So Paul, thank you so much to you guys for tuning in. Again, ultimately, without you watching this content, we're not making anything. And to the BMW engineers who decided to make this car, bloody good job. Be sure to check in for more content coming soon. Cheers.